listening to some words by Jordan Peterson earlier, and I love that dude. He's great. He gets a lot of shit, but you know, it is what it is. That's the field. And he was saying that there comes a point in time where you have to essentially outgrow your parents. And a lot of people keep their parents close because they're afraid of nobody being in that gap between them and the unknown. So your parents will always be there as a way to guide you, as a safety net, you know? And it is, I guess, somewhat scary. Personally, I don't have that much of that notion. But that doesn't mean that I don't understand it. It could be very scary, not knowing what to do and not having your parents here to help you. And this is why a lot of people are lost when their parents pass away, not because they're mourning the death of their mom or dad, but it's because they don't know who to talk to and ask about silly advice or smart advice. Did you see that? Or did you hear that? I guess the tape will play it back. So, how to battle certain things, how to solve certain problems. There's ways to do it, but I think that a lot of people don't know them. Like, for instance, let's get a simple one. How to get rid of negativity in your life. If you have just negative people, negative notions, that's contributing to your overall general well-being, how do you get rid of something like that? Most people would say, well, the opposite gets rid of it, right? I mean, hot, cold, it kind of balances out. Negative, positive, right? Most cases, that's not the case at all. In fact, negativity is one of those things that any kind of attention that's paid to it, the villain, will only contribute to its power. So if you attack negativity with negativity, it'll exponentially increase its power. And if you attack negativity with positivity, you're still bringing attention to the negative by battling it, thus enabling it to have more power. So the opposite here is not really the method of choice. Another good example is fire and fire, for example, right? This is a good one. What's the opposite of fire? Water. No, that's not. Because fire has nothing to do with water. Its temperature is what happens to fire, right? So it's temperature, but really it's the lack of oxygen, because without oxygen, or any kind of gas rather, there is no fire. So a vacuum would be the opposite of fire, in my opinion. And indeed, that is the quickest way to get rid of fire. If you can create a vacuum with sand or water, or if it's an electrical fire, don't use water though, because you're dead. They use foam, salt, milk. Oftentimes the opposites of a problem are not the solution, but there's a good way to let you know deeper about the problem. So negative people, if you feed positivity into them as much as you want, they're only going to just eat off of that and keep going. And if you go back negative at them, that's what they want. Actually, they love fighting, so they're just going to keep doing that. In my opinion, the quickest way and the easiest way, but it takes the most effort, is to blatantly and simply ignore it. Like a kid at a play school on 3rd grade. Silent rule. That's it. Nothing. And what will happen is it'll get worse before it gets better, it's true. But the worst won't last very long at all. The worst will be a last desperation into regaining somewhat control of having that negativity affect you. Once the deliverer, or the dealer rather, realizes that he's really being ignored, he'll vanish or she'll vanish quicker than you could have ever imagined. Much quicker than they appeared. Because negativity creeps in. It doesn't just bust open the door. So you have to ignore it. And if you are worried about that gap between you, the unknown, that your parents are no longer able to fill because they're not around, just take solace in the fact that when you're dead, or the day that it is time for you to go, any problems you have right now will be completely obliterated and insignificant. Because at your deathbed, people are thinking different things, but for the most part, they're thinking about people and how they're going to see them again, or never see them again. But we all know. So, what do you get out of this today? Well, you know how not to fight an electrical fire. You know how to fight negativity, right? But the most important thing is where focus goes, energy flows, period. Whether it's good, bad, or the ugly. But if you're feeding bad energy to bad stuff, then gonna make it stronger. Feeding good energy to bad stuff, gonna make it stronger. Ignore it. Ignore it and watch people make fun of you for it. It's fine. Ignore them too while you're at it. You see, it's like friends. How many friends would you say you have? How many best friends do you say you have? 3, 4, 2 maybe. Be honest with yourself. You can't have 2 best friends. The definition of best is 1. There can only be 1 best. Just like Highlanders. Hell, whatever. So you can't have 2 best friends. You could have 2 friends and no best friends that you equally love, or you could have one that you love a little bit more. That's your best friend. Which is both are fine. Me, I don't have any friends at all. I have like 1 maybe. But I have a lot of acquaintances because I don't like to use that word in that sense, because I think a lot of people misconstrue what the word friend means, and it's so loosely thrown around, exhibit A, best friends, more than 1, that it's become, that's one of the word friend. The word friend is one of those words that still means something to me, that hasn't lost its value and been diluted into modern culture. Although it has, but best friends. But like if you use it the right way, I think it still matters. You can still, there's honor left in that. You know what I mean? But the first thing is you gotta be honest to yourself, dude. That's it. And then ignore everyone that thinks otherwise. But you have to be open to suggestion. You ignore everyone who opposes you with no reason. The one that just says, no, this isn't true, and walks off. Don't answer back. Don't answer back, don't write back, nothing. You want to more than ever, but you don't. That's when you ignore. And it'll vanish. That's it. Every day. All day.